Welcome to the Automation Zone. In this tutorial, we'll be looking at error handling or exception handling in Python. There are two types of errors. The first one is syntax errors. Syntax meaning you are not typing your Python code correctly, which can include incorrect spellings or incorrect representation of your Python code. Like print but type without the last letter T will give you an exception. Okay. In this case, not exception, but it'll throw in an error. Okay. The other is if I were to put the wrong brackets, it'll throw me an error as well. So this usually happens during compile time. Okay, compiling in most it happens in most programming languages. In Python you do not have compile, but if you're using a good editor like PyCharm or Eclipse, it will throw you an error before even running your code. So they are pretty hard to miss. You get these red sticky lines everywhere. You can review them. Okay. If you're using Notepad, then you will not get errors. You'll see these errors only during your execution. The next type is your runtime errors. There are two types. Okay, logical, that breaks your code. The other one is which does not break your code. What do I mean? If I have two numbers, 10 and I have 20, and finally my boss has told me to write a program to add the two numbers. So I do num1 plus num2. Okay, pretty straightforward. I get the output 30. But what if during typing I have a typo and I add minus? So this is not going to break my code, and I'll not be having any errors in my application. Everything works fine. The process finished with exit code 0. So no errors. So avoid these errors. They are hard to catch. The other one is runtime errors that breaks your code, which we'll be looking at in this session in depth. So what do I mean? Say for example, I was dividing the two numbers and my denominator is 0. Most programming languages cannot divide by 0, and if I run it, I get these red lines in my console. Okay, so there's an error in line number 11, as you see here. Okay, and the error is divide by 0 error. Now this is pretty straightforward. The name of the error tells us exactly what has happened, but many cases you will not understand the exception. Okay, especially for non-programmers. Okay, given that we are writing a code for non-programmers to run it, okay, we need to handle our exceptions such that they can understand. You have opened up an app in Windows or in Android and it crashes and it throws you a weird error which we do not understand until we Google, and then we find out, okay, the solution was pretty simple. We do not need that. We need to give proper errors to the users. How to do that? We can do that by using try, except, and finally blocks. So let's try that. So let me put in try. Okay, the code which might have an error. Okay, as a good programmer, assume that your code will have errors. Okay, no one should think that their code is perfect. So the code which might have an error, which is almost all of your code, will go under try. Okay, and if there's an error in try, it has to go somewhere, which will go in except. So in except, let me go ahead and print there was an error during execution. Let me run this. Okay, my bad, run this. Okay, now you can see here there was an error during execution. What happened here? It ran the, let me debug and show you what happened here. So it runs line number 8, okay, and it goes to line number 9, it goes to line number 10, and line number 10 has an error and it goes directly to my except block. So whenever Python finds an error, it directly jumps to my except block. So what happens to the code which is written after it? For example, here I've written a line called as calculation is done, okay, or completed. So will this line run? Let me run this. You can see this particular line was not printed. So the moment it finds an error, it is not going to execute any code beyond it. It will directly go and jump to my except block. So what happens in these kinds of cases? Code which you need to execute no matter what. For example, whether there's an error or not error, you need to print the calculation is done. Okay, will go in your finally block. So this is optional, it's not mandatory. Okay, so you can go ahead and use a block called finally, and within finally you can go and print your line which has to be run no matter what. So let's run this. So there was an error during execution, calculation is done, and if there is no error, okay, this is the answer and calculation is done. So regardless of error or no error, my finally block is always run. Okay, so let us have more specific errors. Let's say you cannot have denominator has 0. Okay, let me also put here error. Okay, now let me run this. Now this is better, and if my denominator is 0, it throws an error as well. But let's say if I had letters over here, ZER, now what would happen? It still gives me the exact same error. So we have an issue here in your except block. Okay, because this is general, no matter what error we get here is always going to go to this particular except block, right? So do not have specific errors, have general commands written here. Okay, there was an error. Okay, which error we have no idea. Okay, during calculation. And for the developers to understand what the error was, what we can do is we can use exception. Okay, when I use a class exception, it is going to capture your exception right here as E. Okay, and I can go and print E right here. So now this is much better. There was an error during calculation. Let me put here brackets to distinguish. Okay, so there was an error during calculation, unsupported operands. Okay, so this is much more better, right? But then I definitely know that there is an error called divide by 0. What to do in that case? I can have general ones, okay, where I do not add anything after exception block. The other one is I can type except and I can specify the error type right here. So many cases you might not know the error type. What you can do is just go ahead and run your code somewhere below if you do not know the error type. Okay, and once you run it, okay, I need to comment this block, commented. Okay, run the part of the code which has an error. You will get divide by 0, right? Yeah, once you run it, you should be getting the error right here. Copy the error. If you do not know, if you know, the solution is pretty simple. Copy the error and paste the error right after except. Okay, so moment you do this, okay, if it is this specific error, it is going to enter this particular except block. If it is a different error, okay, which is not specified, it is going to go in your general except block. So here I can go ahead and type the denominator cannot be 0. Okay, let me zoom out so it's visible. Now let me run this. Okay, there was an error during calculation. It's a general error, but if my denominator was 0, the exception would have been divide by 0 error. It would enter this particular except block and my error would be the denominator cannot be 0. Okay, in this way you can add more than one except blocks with specific errors. Okay, and try to also add one with a general one. Okay, in case you want to catch those nasty errors which you do not have any idea of. But in those cases, try to put an exception E so that developers and yourself can analyze it later. Let's look at something practical. The practical use of finally. Okay, many guys have asked a question that when is actually finally used and why is it used? Let's have this particular condition here. Let's say that you have got two codes run one after the other. In your first code, you're opening a file, you're performing some operation, another operation, third operation, and you're closing the file. After that, you're again opening the file and doing the same thing again. Okay, now remember that the closing, okay, happens after the three operations are performed. What happens if I get an error right here? Okay, I get the error right here. Okay, my close is not this close command, okay, close file command is not performed. So what happens is my file is open, and because my file is open, when it goes to my next part of the code which has to open the file again, it is going to throw me an error because the file is already open. So commands like this, where you need to close a file regardless of an error or not, will always come in your finally blocks. So regardless of the opening file operation being successful or not successful, the closing file is always performed. Okay, so this is a practical use of finally. If you have any other questions, do comment below. If you like my tutorial, do subscribe. Thank you.